Lux Solaris, Chapter 1, Buck Williams, Private Investigator.
My name is Buck Williams. Not long ago, I went by Officer Williams, but without getting into too much detail, a paranormal event inspired me to follow a different path in life. Since then, I quit the force. Instead of walking a beat, I joined a private investigation firm so I can track down more of these anomalies. Damn it, Maria, what did I just say? I shout into my phone. Yes, I know your mom's in town, and I already told you a week in advance so that I have my schedule laid out for me. Look, yes, I know she flew in from Arizona, but I can't just call out today. I'm on a big case. Listen, I'll be home tonight. Just don't expect me to be there for dinner. Love you. Bye. I shove my phone in my pocket and walk up to the scene of the crime.
About time you got here, Williams, says the man in the police uniform. Or I guess you go by Buck now, don't you?
I recognize the man as my old co-worker, Detective Liam Murphy. Great to see you too, Liam. How have you boys been getting on without me?
Well, after you quit, I had to cover 3 of your shifts. I missed my youngest son's first baseball game. How does it feel?
And I told you I'm sorry, but it had to be done. I really needed a life change after that case. But enough small talk. What do we got over here?
Another body, right in the center of the park, after this alleged cult moved into town. These things have been happening every couple of weeks. I'm telling you, we're gonna have to start issuing warnings to the people to stay in groups. I'm angry.
You said in the center of the park, huh? That's pretty bold for these guys to leave a stiff right out in the open like that.
Yeah, the other ones were hidden away pretty well outside of town. This one's got the same MO as the other ones. Head smashed in like a fucking grape, left outside to rot, like a piece of meat. Yeah, these guys are getting pretty damn ballsy, that's for sure.
I say we go check it out then. Just like old times, huh?
Sure, Buck. But just remember, you're not a cop anymore. So don't get too involved this time, okay?
Walk underneath the police tape and over to the corpse, which had already been covered by a tarp. I pull the cover away and see that Murphy was not lying about the head trauma. Pretty brutal stuff. Whoever did it did with a passion. Jesus, are these symbols written in blood? I ask. What the hell kind of language is that? I say after noticing the strange markings on the victim's chest.
Couldn't tell you. I went to Catholic school. This is some sort of satanic bullshit.
It doesn't look like Latin to me. Looks like some first-year French or something. Murphy pulls out his notepad and starts jotting down some notes. Blood writing in French or Latin, he mutters. Makes me sick. What kind of sick bastard does this and has the balls to leave the body out in broad daylight? Yeah, looks like he didn't just want to kill the poor son of a bitch. He wanted to send a message. It's a daring move. Probably the reason these sort of crimes have been spiking lately.
One thing's for sure. We need to find out who's doing this as soon as possible. I don't want these popping up every fucking weekend.
Sounds to me like you got a lead already. What was it that you told me about this cult?
I wish it was a lead. It's more like a desperate reach. But we don't have anything else to go on. Some kid found the body earlier and called the police. They said they saw some hooded figure circling around the body last night.
You believe him?
I don't know. They seemed pretty shooken up after all. They said it was some sort of cult ritual and they didn't want to get involved, but you know how high school kids are nowadays. Their creepypasta stories he like to put up on the Instagram.
Yeah, I'll bet you my nephew goes to that same high school. I'll make my way down there later, but in the meantime, let's try to find out what these symbols mean. Another man enters the crime scene who I recognize as my former co-worker. He's dressed sharply and sports a pencil mustache. His name is Francisco Alvarez de Cordoba. He seems to recognize me too.
Officer Williams! Or I suppose it's Williams, private eye these days, no? What brings you to these parts?
I just thought I'd pay my respects to the great department that bravely protects and serves his community. Also, we got a body here.
Yes. Another violent ritual killing. Very tragic. And it's not the first one either. No, these have been coming up every few weeks or so. As you already know. But what really brings you here, brother? Why does your firm want to find the killer? Are you branching out from unfaithful husbands?
He's referring to the nature of our business. My firm, Homewreckers Private Eyes, puts on the masquerade of looking into cheating wives or husbands on business trips in order to mask our more discreet business of investigating paranormal activity. We cover a lot of bases, and since I was in the area, I thought I could offer my valuable expertise, I reply, grinning at him, and maybe you could bring yours to the table too. We found these symbols on the body, but we can't put together what they mean. He crouches over and looks at the body and looks over at the symbols, nodding.
says Lux Solaris, which is Latin for sunshine. After that, it says El Nintendo Gamecube-o, which is butchered Spanish. After that, I have no idea what these symbols mean. They look like some sort of hieroglyphics. It would take a wiser man than myself to put that one together.
Looks like our man's got a sick sense of humor, signing his name as fucking Sunshine. Let me tell you, it'll be a lot more funny seeing you in Northern State Prison when you drop the fucking soap.
The name Sunshine does sound familiar to me, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe it was mentioned in passing at one point.
You better get going, says Alvarez. I'll tell the men at the station to beware of anyone trying to buy candles or some black robes from Hot Topic, he says jokingly. And Williams, it was good to see you. Feel free to contact us if anything comes up. We'll keep in touch, partner.
So long, boys. Happy hunting, I reply. Before leaving, I take a picture of the strange symbols on the body on the off chance I find somebody who can decipher what they mean. I hop into my black 1969 Chevy Camaro parked at the curb and begin driving toward the local high school, allegedly the one where those kids witnessed a ritual. Teenagers ain't exactly reliable witnesses, but it's the only tangible thing we got right now. On the way there, I began reminiscing about the old days in the police force. We were close as brothers, and somehow we always came out of any situation on top because we had each other. My wife tells me I'm lucky to be alive, and I can tell she is secretly grateful I quit. It's a shame it had to be that way, but at the same time I know it was my only option. After what happened to both myself and this one kid I met during a routine welfare check, my perspective on the paranormal changed forever, and that's not something I can expect my coworkers to understand. No, they would have had to have been there to understand it. Hell, I wouldn't have believed it either if I hadn't seen it with my own eyes. And that world opened up that day is not something I can drag them into. No, not in good conscience. I pull into the high school parking lot in the visitors area, where I'm immediately greeted by the campus security. He rolls up to my car and I can tell he's an older man with his gray handlebar mustache.
Good morning, mister. What brings you here?
I'm Buck Williams, private investigator. I'm just here to speak to some students about the life of a PI. Nothing serious, I assure him. He looks at my ID and nods.
Well, you're gonna have to sign here, he says, pushing a clipboard through the window. I sign it for him. You'll have to fill out another form at the principal's office and get an identification tape.
Thank you, friend. The security guard drives off and I step outside my car and head to the principal's office. I open the door and the high school secretary looks up from her desk and stops tapping on her keyboard with her acrylic nails.
May I help you, sir?
Yeah, hi, I'm Buck Williams, private investigator, I say, flashing my ID. I'm here to see the principal.
Do you have an appointment?
Do I need one?
I'm afraid so. We're on a very busy schedule this week, and the principal isn't taking visitors without appointment at the very moment.
Are you serious? I'm not asking to see the president. I'm a private eye, for Christ's sakes. This is part of an investigation.
I'm sorry, sir, but these are our rules. If you don't like them, you're welcome to contact our board of directors.
She looks away from me and resumes tapping on the keyboard. Unbelievable. I can't believe how bureaucratic this high school is. It might as well be the police department. I'm trying not to get angry, but my only hurdle to getting the information I need is from a high school secretary. For all I know, the cultists could be out there on the loose stalking their next victim right now. I don't have time for this. I decided to be blunt. Look, I'm here trying to prevent another murder. Last night somebody was killed by a group of people, and I have reason to believe that there are witnesses at this school. I need to talk to your principal, right now. The secretary's facial expression doesn't change.
I understand if you would like to have a seat in the waiting room. I'll contact the principal about your concerns, and I'll let you know when she's open for visitors.
I really want to grab her by the shoulders and give her a shake with a "Damn it, woman, wake up!" But I resist it. Looks like not even a murder is enough to put a dent in a high school schedule. I shake my head and walk into the waiting room. I'm waiting for what seems like hours when finally the secretary calls me back.
The principal will see you now.
I walk past her and head into the office where a middle-aged woman with silver glasses smiles at me. She looks up from some papers and offers me a seat in the front desk.
Hello, Mr. Williams. I'm Mrs. Snyder, the school principal. I understand you have some concerns about our students at our school.
I take a seat and give her the same spiel I gave the secretary, but she seems to take it a little more seriously than she did.
Well, we we definitely want to catch the people responsible for this crime, of course. How can we help you?
I wanted to talk to some students who might know something about it. I don't have any names at the moment, but I do know that there are some students attending this school who did witness a murder. Has there been any talk about it going around campus?
The principal seems to think for a moment. I believe there was a rumor that somebody saw some shadowy figures near the body. I haven't heard anything else since, though.
You wouldn't happen to have a name by any chance?
I believe it was Thomas Bateman, she responds.
She has my attention. That's the name of my nephew.
But keep in mind that these are just rumors, and Thomas has a reputation as a bit of a troublemaker, if you will.
Yeah, I don't doubt it, but any bit of information goes a long way. Do you know what class Thomas is in right now?
He's in room 402, an English class with Mrs. Cole.
Noted. Thank you for your time, Mrs. Snyder. You've been a big help.
One more thing, Mr. Williams, she says, as I'm stepping outside the door. I don't need you causing panic among the school, so if you choose to ask questions, please be discreet about it.
Ma'am, I'm a PI, I reply. Discreet is my middle name.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
And to you as well, Mrs. Snyder. I head to room 402, but not before filling out a visitor's form and putting on a sticker that reads, "Hi, my name is Buck Williams, private investigator." When I arrive at the correct building, I can hear the teacher giving a lecture to her class. Looks like class is still in session. I give a knock and hear a voice say,
Come in.
I open the door and step inside, where a young woman with brown hair looks up to me. She motions for the class to be quiet.
Hello, and welcome to AP English Literature and Composition. I was told by the principal we were having a very special guest today. So, class, please give your full attention to Private Investigator Buck Williams.
About 2 students silently applaud at my arrival, while the rest are asleep or spacing out. I give a wave to the class before standing in the center of the room. I look to the back of the class and see my nephew, Thomas. He's dressed in a gray 3-piece suit with a matching gray fedora on his head. He has the same fashion and body fat percentage as Al Capone, but without the same charisma. He glares at me, the little bastard. Thank you, I say, as I take a seat next to the teacher's desk.
Now, before you begin, why don't you tell us what business brings you to our school? I'm sure you must have a busy schedule.
Of course. At the behest of Principal Snyder, I'm here to tell you a bit about my life and answer any questions the class might have about the life of a private investigator. I lie. Looking at you, future law students, I say, grinning.
Well, Mr. Williams, I already have a few questions for you, if that's all right, says Mrs. Cole.
Fire away, ma'am.
How'd you get to become a private investigator?
Well, I guess I could give you the normal spiel and tell you how I was brought up in a nice family and always had a passion for our judicial system and always got along with law enforcement, but that wouldn't be exactly true. In fact, I came from nothing. I knew I wasn't good at much, but I knew I was good at certain things, like getting the fucking truth out of people. I glare at Thomas, who's staring back with fierce eyes. I've been successful so far, never had a case go cold under me. Nope, everybody always spills the truth eventually.
That's quite an impressive track record, Mr. Williams. Mrs. Cole cuts in. Do you have any advice for the students here in the school in regards to pursuing a future in law?
Sure can. I can tell you this, it takes more than being a good student to make it in this field. Dedication, courage, and being able to read people all play their important roles. The best of us can do all 3.
Wonderful advice, Mr. Williams. Now, class, I need to make some extra copies of the grading rubric for our upcoming unit essay, so feel free to ask Mr. Williams any questions that come to your mind. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to answer them.
Mrs. Cole steps out of the room, and I wait a few seconds to make sure she's out of earshot. I stand up and close the blinds, darkening the classroom. Time for some old school interrogation. I walk to the teacher's desk and flip it on its side, causing a crash and sending papers and desktop items to scatter across the room. The kids are all on alert now, staring in disbelief. I pull out a cigar and take a drag, blowing smoke into the air. The small sun rays coming through the blinds cause it to glimmer through the room. Class is in session, so shut your goddamn mouths and listen up. I got questions pertaining to the murder of a man at approximately 0300 hours last night in the center of the park, where, allegedly, he was surrounded by hooded figures. I know some of you in this class know about it, so who wants to spill their guts? Silence. Nobody, huh? Good, now I get to do what I do best. I push a teacher's desk up against the door in order to prevent people from coming in and keep people from getting out. Setting it next to Thomas's desk, he tries to get up, but I motion for him to sit down, gripping his shoulder tightly.
What are you busting my balls for, huh? Last I checked, he was not a real cop, he says, trying to mask his fear.
I'm more real than you can imagine, son. Now drop the act and start singing, or I can make this a really bad day for you.
Forget about it, bozo. I never heard of no murder happening in no park. So you can take that fake badge, get on out of here, and go investigate something more up your alley. Don't you know someone's littering up in Brooks Park? So make it like a train and fuck off.
Alright, if that's how you want to play it, have it your way. I pick up a chair and hurl it into the window, sending glass fragments to shatter and spill across the room. I turn to face the rest of the class, taking another drag from my cigar. One of you saw what happened last night. You know it, and I know it. You might as well spill it now before we start playing some of my favorite games, and I promise you, you're not going to like them. The class is frozen in shock, and the room is completely silent. I can tell the kids are either too afraid to speak or hoping I'll just decide to leave. I need to try a different approach. I come up to another desk seated by a skinny kid wearing glasses. Hey you! Looking at you, Four Eyes!
Yes, sir? He stammers out nervously.
Do I look like a bitch to you?
No, sir, of course not.
Then why are you talking to me like one? I shout, causing him to sink further into his seat. I cut him off before he could finish his thought. You seem like the smartest one in this class. I mean, you gotta be because you're built like a number 2 pencil. Be ashamed if you was as dumb as you are scrawny.
He finally finds his tongue. Yes, sir.
You got the best grades in this class, don't ya? Straight A fucking student, am I right?
I guess so, sir.
Yeah, I thought so. How about we do a little exercise? Who invented the light bulb?
Thomas Edison?
What year did Christopher Columbus sail to America?
1942.
How many seconds are in a year?
I don't know, sir. He fearfully mumbles out.
Damn, I was hoping you know that one. Alright, who was president during the Watergate scandal?
Richard Nixon.
Good. Now who was president at the park at 0300 to witness the hooded men circling the body? The kid turns 3 shades of pale before finally squeaking out.
I was, sir.
The kid starts breaking down in tears. Alright, get a hold of yourself, son. See, that wasn't so hard, was it?
You're not gonna hurt anybody, right?
He mumbles through tears. Not unless you give me a reason to. The kid is trying to decipher whether or not I'm being serious. Good. Can't let him get too comfortable now.
Damn it, Nelson. Why would you tell him that?
A voice shouts from the back. Shut your mouth, boy. I don't want to hear any talk from back there, understand? Now tell me exactly what happened last night. Don't leave out any details. The kid, still shaken up, stumbles over his words as he describes what happened in the early hours that morning to the best of his ability. The main gist of it involves him leaving with a girl to go see a movie. She had told him that she wanted to talk to him about something, but wouldn't tell him what it was until they were at the park. By then it was around 0300, right where they witnessed the ritual. It wasn't the first murder in town, not even that month, so he did the smart thing and kept it to himself. That was until he told just a couple of friends who couldn't keep it to themselves. Soon, word got all around, and they ended up posting a few stories online discussing theories of who those men were. The witnesses' names were all anonymous, until now. Beyond that, the kid didn't have much more to say, and I believe that. It still wasn't much to work with, since it's impossible to prove the identity of some hooded men dressed in all black at dark, but at least I identified a witness. I turned to the rest of the class. See, that's all I wanted. How come all of you were so hesitant to speak up?
'Cause you're a goddamn lunatic, Thomas replies. I knew it was gonna escalate to something just like this. That's what happens when you get anywhere near my uncle, see?
The class stares at Thomas.
That's your uncle?
One of them asked.
Yeah, that's right, Thomas replies. I knew it was gonna escalate to something like this, as I mentioned earlier. Why do you think I told everybody to keep their mouths shut? Look what happens when we're stuck on this like a fly in a trap, for God's sake.
The bell rings. Well, class, I think we all had a very productive day, I say, ashing my cigar on a desk and flicking it behind me. Stay in school, don't do drugs, don't run with scissors, all that good stuff. Thomas, I'm gonna need to speak with you after school, I say.
And why would I do that, huh? You expect me to follow you around and do your bidding like some kind of pet? Right after you come barging into my class and make it look like a goddamn tornado swept through.
Yes. Now I'll see you at the back of school at 1500.
Stuff it, wise guy.
Thomas stomps out of class and into the hallway. I turn back to the class. Class dismissed. Oh, and don't forget to clean up this mess. 3 o'clock hits and the last bell of the day sounds off. I'm leaning against a light fixture in the parking lot when Thomas comes walking over, just like I asked. He still looks pissed, but he still listens to his uncle.
I'm a busy man, so let's make it quick, he says.
First of all, let's talk about your gripe with your uncle. What's up with that?
What's up with it? You come barging into my class and start interrogating me like I committed a murder. That's what's up with it.
Okay, fair enough. But if you cooperated from the beginning, I wouldn't have had to handle it that way. In any case, let's get down to brass tacks, alright? You know what's going on, I know what's going on. So let's just help each other out so we can drive this cult out of town and all New Jersey goes back to normal. If there ever was a normal around here.
Yeah. I don't want to hear your policeman spiel, alright? Just tell me what you want to get from me and we'll get over with this, okay?
You know about the murders, and you probably even know a thing or two about this cult, so let's start with that. What were you doing the night of the murder? I need details, but not too many. I think if I learned what teenage boys are doing alone these days, I'd be sick.
Haha, very funny, wise guy. Fine. So there I was. It must have been around midnight. It was 3 of us, the Alley Cats. Me, Slick Tony, and Johnny No Good. But honest, Uncle Buck, if you want to investigate someone, that Johnny No Good, whenever he was around, well, it was certainly no good, let me tell you that. Always flicking that goddamn 1964 Jack Kennedy nickel.
He drums on. I'll keep that in mind, I reply. So it was 3 of you, right?
Yeah, it was the 3 of us. We started at Studio 54. We was cruising downtown looking for some squids to chase. We came across this one broad dressed all in black. Must have had some bad daddy issues going on or something. But anyway, we calls out to her. Hey, sweet thing, why don't you come run with us tonight? So she smiles and comes our way. And we all get into Tony's car. So we ask her, hey gorgeous, how's about you show us what to do around town, you know? Honestly, I was just hoping to score some backseat bingo. But not yet. I'm more classy than that, see? So she gives us some directions and we end up pulling into this bar a bit away. But we went with it, you know? So we follows her inside and it all looks normal. She takes us in the back room behind the curtain and there's these 2 hooded figures standing around to guard the door in the basement. These fellas look like some bad news. They was from a whole different ballpark. You know, speaking of ballparks though, they was like the New York Yankees, excuse me, of up to no good. And anyway, a fella can digress from time to time, so.
He droned on, loving the sound of his own voice. Okay, let me stop you right there. Did you say hooded men? These were probably the cultists, right?
Well, seeing as they had no bow ties and wasn't offering us drinks, I assume they was no fucking waiters.
Thomas, I insist. Tell me about the cultists.
This is why I didn't want to say nothing to you in class, because I knew you'd start losing your mind. Can I finish my story, bozo?
Alright, go on.
Alright, so as I was saying, these 2 fucking bad news bears with hoods over their fucking heads was blocking the way. They asked us for a password, like the fucking 4th grade. Anyway, trying to look all tough with their big fucking budget Halloween costumes and shit. They was standing there, and this girl, she just goes up and whispers something. And the guards open the door for us, so we follows her into the basement.
Okay, and what did you see?
Well, it sure as hell was no fucking karaoke party, Uncle Buck. It was basically an empty concrete room down there. Soundproof, I bet. That must have been why they chose that spot, to digress yet again. But anyway, there was only this big TV plugged into one of the walls.
How ominous. That's all you saw? Just a TV?
No, it wasn't just a TV. There was a bunch more of those creepy cultists around. And they was all circling around something. And, you know, you're not going to believe this, but I could have sworn they was circling around a GameCube.
God damn it. Of course there's another GameCube involved in this. Hold on, back up. You saw the cultists doing the ritual around a GameCube?
Yeah, that's what I saw. And at that point, I thought we either crashed somebody's slumber party or we was about to be part of some snuff film. This was just the purest of bad news. And not Bronx bad news, mind ya, but like fucking horror film bad news. So I find Slick Tony and just him because honestly, fuck Johnny No Good and his dirty fucking nickel. And basically, I'm looking to split and I say, hey, where's the Goyle? But, you know, we didn't see him nowhere. Then the TV flashed on. Honestly, I'm not fucking with you here. I could have sworn we saw the opening screen for Super Mario Sunshine. The cultists just started chanting something that gave us the jeebies and we split right then and there. They must have known we put two and two together, I'm telling you. Because they started grabbing for us. But we slipped away and managed to get upstairs.
Chanting, huh? Could you make out what they were saying?
Yeah, it was Cantonese. More specifically, the Ping dialect. Ha! No! I had no fucking clue what they were saying. At that point, I was just trying to get my coconuts not chopped off by a ritual dagger.
Fair enough. What about the girl? Did you see her again?
Let me finish. I'll get to that at some point. So anyway, we push on through the guards, and we get outside. We jump in Tony's car, and just like that, we take off. No looking back or nothing. We was trying to get out as far away from that place as we could. On the way out of there, though, I could have sworn I saw that girl. She was just running up to the park. The same one where that body was found. It must have been around 3 a.m. at that point, so the timeline pretty much matches up. I'm betting if you can find that girl, you'll be able to find out where to go from there.
Okay. Just let me make sure I got the story straight. So you and your boy, Slippery Tony, and Johnny No Good were out trying to get some, and you find this goth girl. She leads you to a seedy bar downtown. You follow her to a secret basement club, and everyone in there is doing some ritual on a GameCube?
Yeah, that about covers it, you know. Yeah, so basically, I couldn't make this shit up if I wanted to, you know. Look, since I helped you out, though, I'm gonna have to bring this up. I need you to do something for me. Promise me you won't take none of this to the damn press. I really don't want to get tied in this any more than I already am.
You don't need to worry about that. Nobody'd believe me if I told them anyway.
Good. Is that all?
Yeah, one more thing. See, I saw these symbols on the body this morning. Any idea what they mean? I ask, showing him a picture of the symbols on the body. He stares at the symbols, looking puzzled.
Yeah, you bozo, that's a GameCube and that's a memory card right there.
What does it mean?
It means he's a sick fuck who likes GameCubes. What are you, 80 or something?
Hey, I'm serious.
I'm serious too. Serious about putting you in a fucking old folks home. So there you have it. You got a GameCube worshipping cult to drag down. Or track down or some shit. And I got an English essay tonight to write up. So it looks to me like we both better get off on our separate ways, mind you.
I wasn't sure if following that lead of the school kids would lead me up to anything, but when you've been in the business as long as I have, you learn to trust your gut. That instinct made the difference between a case going cold and finding a killer more than once. Thanks to that one small lead, I now have a solid shot at finding this cult and driving them out of town. With this kind of luck, I should start buying lottery tickets. All I need to do now is find the girl, get to that shady bar, and then, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
End of part 1 of 4. Make sure to subscribe so you can be the first to find out what happens to our hero, Buck Williams.